It's UnoPro back here with another live gameplay video. Going to be playing some aggro Magmar today using Grinch's List. If you don't know Grinch, basically where have you been? He's one of the most popular Twitch streamers, very well known to the community, does Deck Doctor series, very good player as well. So if you haven't checked him out, I guess you check him out. But basically we're going to be playing Varth aggro deck using that really strong Bloodborne spell, and even though we're an aggro deck, which is where Starhorn would be, Starhorn's just nowhere near good enough at all, so we're not going to be running Starhorn, of course. Basically the deck has lots of low cost creatures and spells, really strong early game, lots and lots of damage potential, and then for the late game just rush minions with the Targetti damage, and then Primer Shieldmaster and Mercantor Warbeast. So not a massive late game. This deck definitely can run our Steam, but you have so many 4-drops that once you get to 4 mana, you're often just playing one card a turn, and you want to be fitting in your Bloodborne spell as well. So that's kind of why the deck can get away with less card draw, because it's not like a spell high deck where you need card draw because you're going to be always casting multiple cards per turn. You're going to be casting one a turn at some point in the game, and so it kind of stabilizes out. And I haven't found myself running out of cards that often with this deck. I actually just tried to record a live, and I was playing a really good game against a really good opponent. Ended up being a really close game, but midway through I just knocked out my mic completely and basically lost the footage. So that was a little unfortunate. Anyway, let's get into game here. So definitely keeping Primus Fist, definitely keeping these two. This is where the decision comes in. So we need to think about, I think if we're always going to 4, then this isn't very good, and this is a little bit shaky because it doesn't really work with going to 4. The problem is when he kills our 2-drop. So Tiger can kill our 2-drop, then we have nothing. Or Natural Selection. Those are basically the two that'll kill it. I think we just keep it. Our hand is probably good enough that we can wait, see if he kills our 2-drop, and then go from there. And then maybe we can replace Tiger or Greater Fortitude. But this hand's actually pretty decent. So, but I definitely do like with the decks that are such high power levels in certain cards, especially Magmar. Magmar is the biggest offender of this, where Targetti is so much of the deck's power. I really want to be replacing very often. So Natural Selection, okay. It's a very awkward turn. Because if we do this and this, then we can't get to his... We can't kill the egg. We can Tiger... I guess we could go like... Tiger, come here, Blood Tier, the egg. And we don't advance our board. Let's get rid of the Primus Shieldmaster. I guess we just double Blood Tier here. We get to deny both mana tiles. Do we Greater Fortitude here? I don't think so. No. If he drops Targetti, that's very scary because Targetti is always scary. It's just a ridiculous card. What do we do against this Targetti here? So we could this and this. I think I'll get rid of this. I don't want to waste my hand too much. I'm running out of cards. So I could Tiger this, and then Bloodborne spell, trade in. Or I can draw my own. That seems a bit weak. You don't want to be targeting into a Targetti who's already active, unless we can set up a scenario where that's not problematic, which seems pretty impossible. We can just do all these three. It kind of sucks it really sucks. I guess that's just how good Taigeti is, honestly. I mean, I guess I should have just sent this in and this in. Yeah, I probably should have done that. It's really difficult with Taigeti. It's just such a hard card, and I'm not used to playing around it. I guess I could have, sent that in, send the tiger in, and then, yeah, that was better. That way I don't waste a Greater Fortitude. I mean, getting to play the Taigeti first, like, this is just insane, this card. It's honestly a bit absurd. Okay, we need high impact cards because we're very behind. This card is just ridiculous. Greater Fortitude wouldn't help me here. Like, anywhere I play Taigeti, he can just abuse it. And then, like, there's like a stupid Taigeti chain if I play it here. Like, he comes in, attacks, then I deal damage back, so he triggers my Taigeti, then I trigger his Taigeti. Like, what is that? And then he's gonna get more out of that because he's gonna hit my general. So I don't know. It's just ridiculous. We might have I guess we trade here. We're so far behind. Just by the fact that he gets to play Taigeti before me. Like, if he didn't have Primus, if he didn't have like Young Silthar natural selection, then we suddenly Taigeting first. He can't Taigeti into us without it being super awkward. And then we're like way ahead. Just this card, it's the best card in the game, and it's probably not even close. Like, we're gonna take 5 from it here after all it's even done. I don't know. I'm not like trying to be salty about this card. Like, I don't want to nerf Magmar, because Magmar's not OP or anything, but just take it, I guess. Put myself to, like, there's nothing to do here. I mean, we can replace and try and find like a Promise Shield Master, but I don't see any other possible winning play than hoping he just kind of has blanks and then maybe get something going. So we lost. I don't know. Maybe there's a way I could have played it. Like, I could have played that better with the Greater Fortitude, definitely. Would it have mattered? I'm not so sure. Having the Greater Fortitude there it wasn't really the difference. It's just playing Taigeti first is like, well, I mean, having the natural selection there is pretty clutch, and then we can't play Taigeti first. And I mean, if we had Egg Morph, but we didn't see an Egg Morph. I don't think we saw an Egg Morph. I don't tend to get rid of Egg Morph against Magmar just because it lines up well against Taigeti, because nothing else does, I guess. Yeah, so I guess it's partly not being able to play Taigeti first, and partly not drawing Egg Morph, and partly wasting it. This could be good. Still a lot of blood tier around. Probably too early for that. Alright, so we drew 1 Taigeti. I'm probably saying this wrong, actually. Taigeti? Oh, maybe actually I'm saying that alright. Taigeti. This card is just ridiculous. Like, I understand that Duelyst is always kind of balanced around having like really good cards in a faction, but I think Taigeti's gone almost beyond that. Okay, let's get rid of this. We guess we could deny the Manatile, which sucks because it's only a Sarlacc. So I mean, I guess the play that, like, if he wants to avoid it, which he probably will want to, he'll have to play like nothing in the area of this. So like all of this area around here, he has to avoid, which is, you know, probably good for us. I mean, he gets to send a Sarlacc into it, and I guess the worst thing could be like Shadow Reflection, but if he's running Sarlacc, it's very unlikely he's running Shadow Reflection, so. So I think this matchup is decent for us. We just have to pressure down really hard. It can depend. Like, we probably need to play a little bit pretty board centric, just because Kaleno is just an insane card at the moment. Okay, that sucks. Okay. Not the worst spawn. Lots of options here. Lots and lots of options. Well, maybe not any options. So we can do this. You can do these two. You can do these two and this. So many options here. I guess Flameblood Warlock's probably not good at the moment. He's gonna have ping online, so maybe get rid of it. I think I just like this and this. I guess that's a bit worse against Demonic Claw, but I kind of want to get that. I want to get my Bloodborne spell active this turn, because I kind of want to hit him in the face every turn. So doing that earlier is better. Plus, yeah, like if I just do this in a minion, then I haven't really done much else. At least if I get my Bloodborne spell in. And I guess it's better to get the non-rush minion out while this is still relevant. Like later on in the game, it gets a little bit worse because we want to start going face and finding ways to finish out the game. So I think this is probably best. And Young Silthar plus Flameblood Warlock was probably just way too weak. We could have considered keeping it and just trying to weave it in on a turn where he's used his Bloodborne spell and won't have it available. But that's pretty hard to come by, and because like it is pretty good when you can get it down, like when you're really trying to pressure down your opponent, just sticking a 3-1 in their face. But he's got Sarlacc around. He's going to have his ping most of the time. I think it's just too greedy. We're not low enough. Oh, that's scary. Spectral Revenant. Spectral Revenant could be problematic. Source System. Okay, that's probably fine. Demonic Law. Okay. So this turn we have, you know, the same, pretty similar situation available to us. Maybe we even get rid of the Young Silthar here. He's playing smart. Like he's not. He's a good player. Like he's playing, avoiding free damage, which a lot of people don't do. I think I actually get rid of this. I want to use the Greater Fortitude. I want to curve out. And if I do this, then I'm like putting 2 cards in and not getting guaranteed attack off. So what I'm going to do... I might just leave this here, because I don't want to play this here to protect it, and I don't want 3 things plus the general to trade into it, because that's just free. So I'll just leave it here. I still do want him to have to come around here. Maybe I'm, you know, overplaying because I'm an aggro deck, so, but him hitting face here isn't really that worrying. So now there's going to be Shadow Nova. And the fact that he's in a corner is kind of goes against us, because when we hit face with 2 things, it's a lot harder to avoid Shadow Nova completely if we have more than 1 minion on the board. Okay, so it's like a swarm Cassiva. Okay, he can get what? 2 deaths off here. 3 deaths. No. Yeah, 3 deaths. Because 1 from this, 1 from the egg. So he'll be at 15. Then I have lethal. I think so, because there's 15 here. If you get a lucky Starlight spawn, I suppose. 15. Counted right, and then 12, 15. So it's 13, 15. As long as he doesn't get a lucky Starlight spawn or have blood tier instead of, if he has blood tier instead, then it's not lethal. Oh, void pulse. Okay. So we have 15 damage. Well, I guess we get rid of Primus. There are actually a decent amount of draws. That is not one of them. So we're 1 damage off lethal, as the Great Forsen would say. So we can just Mecantor this. I think we just do that. It's a nice Starlight spawn for him. So we're going to play around Shadow Nova. So we're getting low, but he hasn't got any Shadow Creep generated. So this is a really unfortunate spawn because it means he can ping plus trade in, which is very annoying, especially because he's showing it as an answer. And if he has to answer with something like Dancing Blades, that's obviously very good for us. So that's a bit unfortunate that it's so close. Like that's probably one of the best spawns because it can hit whatever he needs it to hit, basically. But that's fine. It's not game deciding. No rush minions in hand, so we really need a minion to hit him next turn. If one, like say this hits, even then that's 4, 7, 8. So a lot of pressure still. He still needs a bit of help. Probably another Void Pulse or is necessary. Maybe I think Kaleno could possibly get him out because he can actually avoid hits from the Mecantor. So yeah, actually he's probably not dead this turn. Another decent Starlight spawn. Zenrui. Damn. Pretty strong turn. I guess we get rid of this. It would have been 1 damage off lethal anyway. So what we do here, this is just very, very nice. We take this clear. I guess we need to think about we don't want our position to get stuffed up by Sarlacc. So we'll be at 5. He'll have a 6 damage Shadow Nova available. So if I'm in his face, then he can put me down to 9. Maybe let's put Taigeti. Then I want to put this full. Oh, it's Starlight spawn again. Alright. Like I wanted to make it so that there's no space he can run to away from the Taigeti. because if he needs to Shadow Nova it. And then I tried to block it off with this, but then the Sarlacc just doesn't want to leave me alone, which is fine. So we've played around Void Pulse Shadow Nova, and we've played around Ping Sarlacc or my Blood Tier Shadow Nova. That's why I didn't go in. So I'm not going to attack. There's not a lot of need to go in. It kind of got punished by the fact that, well, he doesn't have Ping, so that's kind of irrelevant. But still, it still got punished by the fact that he can now attack and run out of my general's range, which is semi-relevant. But he needs other answers as well. So we're still asking the questions. Haven't played into Shadow Nova at all, so we're not losing the value game, and we're still pressuring him really hard. So we're in a pretty good position here, I think. Zenrui, you were scary, but Sarlacc loves me, man. Like, I think I almost dislike this kind of RNG more sometimes, just because on every turn there's RNG, rather than like, sure, there's, you know, one big card that can swing RNG wise, but sometimes just having that RNG just like throughout the game is very annoying. Alright, so that's definitely lethal. Alright, I think we played that one pretty well. It's definitely a good matchup for us, but nonetheless I think we played it pretty solid. Didn't really give our opponent a chance to get back in it. We were never really behind on board. We never had to ignore board. We were able to clear and make sure we don't play into Kaleno, which is really, really important, because Kaleno is getting more and more popular. Shout out to Kaleno. And so the moment you give up board control, you kind of get punished by that pretty hard. And then if you don't have an answer to the next turn, they're back at 25. So we have time for one more, definitely. Okay, another Casino. And I think that's the reason Varth has really come back into the meta, because of Taigeti, and it lines up decently well against Kasiva. Though Kasiva is a pretty insane deck, sometimes it doesn't matter. Okay, definitely need a turn 1 play. Never really getting rid of a turn 1 play when I don't, especially with this deck. You really need to ramp into 4 mana. It kind of sucks that it's Blood Tier, because we don't want to get Blood Tiered and then miss our 4-drop, but we don't have a choice. So we're going to look for a 2-drop as hard as we can, and obviously basically never give it a Taigeti unless you have to. Let's look, probably Primus again. No 2-drop. There's a decent amount of 2-drops in the deck. So we have to hope he doesn't have Blood Tier. He's pretty shaky. There's a pretty decent chance if he does have Blood Tier, because of the hand, like, that could be really hard for us to come back from. That looks like it might be a Sojourner, maybe? Shroud, Blood Tier. Alright, so we're gonna get our 4-drop, which is so huge in this deck. I think we just deny the mana tile. Similar situation to let me use my words. Last game, where, you know, sure, he can avoid a hit from this Taigeti, but it means he's coming back here. He can't play anything this side of him, and we're controlling the scent. He's just uses it as a spell. I wonder if that does mean he has like a Demonic Lure or something, or maybe another Dispel. If he doesn't, he's going to get punished, because Taigeti is just an absolutely insane card. Like, the only card that comes out favorably against it is probably Duelyst, which has to already be set up. So more. Okay, more dies. Like, he's probably going to have a decent answer to it, but like, it just doesn't matter. It's just so good anyway. Like, he spends 2 cards on, he spends 4 mana, and he loses 2/2 that you already had. So, I mean, that's probably one of the better answers he could have. It's just not very good still. I think we get rid of Tiger. We have enough rush in our hand. We kind of want threats. We still want to have, you know, a board while we can. Same kind of thing as the last game. Get the persistent threat out of the way. Start hitting away. Definitely going to trade in the 2-1 here. Probably would do under most circumstances, but against the receiver, he's going to have his ping. Pretty self-explanatory there. So we've seen he doesn't really have any, you know, more efficient removal. So did he more and then Demonic Claw? That was interesting. I think he probably could have just Demonic Lord. I guess that means he probably doesn't have another, you know, proactive drop there. But I guess we kind of already knew that because he played Shroud turn 1. So in a good position. I do like this against Kasiva, especially because we have a very clear indication he doesn't have Blood Tier. I don't know if I'm going to equip that next turn because it, it kind of means you're giving up the board for face damage when we can kind of wait a turn potentially to do that. Ooh. Guess we do get rid of the tiger. I think I just provoke both, hit him, and then hit him in the face with this. Yeah. You could think about the artifact here, but I don't think the artifact, just get the minion out. It's going to give value over 2 turns. It's a threat that has to be dealt with, so I think this is definitely better. Actually sets up lethal with another one pretty soon. So I hope you guys don't hate me for playing such a small deck. I think you've got to punish people for playing the meta. I'm mainly doing this, because I run a YouTube channel, so I want to, cover a variety of decks and show you guys what's strong. But you got to play against the meta, and if there's a lot of Cassiva, this deck is very, very good against Cassiva, as you can see. So I'm never gonna ever fault someone for playing the meta, even though some people don't like face decks or whatever you want to call them. Let's see the randomness. Alright. I mean, there's nothing actually that big. Like, Mecantor's the worst one by a mile. I guess there's a couple rush, but okay. We'll get rid of this. Yeah. So we can do this into here, clear this, play a Blood here, or we can just Mecantor, trade in a Mecantor. I think I actually like trading in a Mecantor. I don't want to get too low, though. Shadow Nova is a real problem here, so maybe we don't. It's definitely very awkward. We can't ignore Kaleno. Actually, I think I'm just gonna go with this. Get the artifact up. This is kind of risky, but taking the damage from this, it's really awkward. I don't care if he trades in. I want to kind of set up for a lethal soon. I mean, it's a little problematic because it's not going to be a 2-turn lethal no matter what, really. Well played. Okay, we're dead. I mean, I don't think there was anything. I think having the Flame Blood Warlocks was a bit scary there. I don't know if there was a line that would have saved us against that, actually. So that was a little bit unfortunate. So like, we were in a really good position.
Magmar versus Vanar.
I guess just Kaleno more is really hard to beat there. Because he doesn't, like, if it's not more, there's no real efficient answer. Let's do this. Actually, this is really good in the matchup. Let's do this. Like, we already have this for, like, the Primal Shield Master kind of stuff. But yeah, I do think this deck is good against Cassiva. Kara matchup is not something I have a ton of experience with. I'm losing my voice. Okay, what can we look for here? Let's get rid of this. I was really hoping for a 2-drop that's not weak to Blood Tier. So we can Blood Tier his face and try and play this, play around Blood Tier, but I don't think it's. I think we just hope. It's not like this is a super reliant on 4-drop hand compared to the other games. We've gone like first every time, which is kind of. I don't know how good it is with this deck. It's definitely worse than with other decks because you want guaranteed ramp into 4 mana. We do run a lot of 2-drops. We haven't really been seeing them, but you got Young Silthars, Primus Fist stuff. Okay. Maybe get rid of Blood Targetti or Elucidator plus this. I think we just get Targetti out. I mean, we can try and bait a Chromatic Cold or whatever, but it's actually just a good Chromatic Cold. Let's just play it. Like, if he Chromatic Colds here, it's fine. If he doesn't have Chromatic Cold or something, I think we just get it out there. Like, I don't know if he... you need to be a pretty disciplined player to keep it Chromatic Cold or something against Magmar specifically for Targetti, or like a Hailstone or something. I think it's probably still better than this. Like, it's 7 damage on a 2-3, and we're playing an aggro deck. If we do it face, then it's the same thing, but he has choice. Primus. Primus is a pretty nice answer here. Okay. So that's about as good as it gets as an answer wise. Okay. That's fine. So we can Bloodborne spell, do this. We can Greater Fortitude and it'll live on 1 HP. It's possibly not bad. I think we just get rid of this. This already does a similar thing against big minions. So I think we do pull the trigger on Greater Fortitude here. We can block it off. If he's a switched on player, there's a decent chance he will. Blood Tier turn 1. I think I'm going to stick this behind me. I want to play around Dancing Blades. It's actually decently common in Kara, and the only place that he can avoid it is, you know, in the corner. So if he's in the corner, that's not too bad for me. Other options are just playing it here or playing it on here, because Kara still runs a decent amount of infiltrate, so maybe we do want to focus more on keeping on the side. Though when you don't know the deck list, like against Vayner, it's sure you want to keep him on your side, but how much do you weigh that up, as in actually making a gameplay concession? Like, you know, risking a minion or being away from a general when you want to be close to a general. Okay, so he plays Dancing Blades. We played it around. I think that's still probably fine. We're still playing we're still playing on board. I kind of want to surround him here, but there's not a good way to do it. We'll do it this way. Like, I want to just box him in, make it hard for him to run, and if he's boxed in, it's a lot harder to play around Mercantor. I was actually planning on making a video about the importance of like central control, and I wanted to highlight just how important it is against Magmar, because it's a lot harder to play around Frenzy and stuff. Like, being closer to the center is really, really important against Magmar. If you're in a corner, it's really difficult. I mean, I would prefer this 2-3 here, but then I can't do this box formation. I mean, maybe that's not what I want to be doing, but I think it's probably the best way to go here. There's not enough, like, can't worry about stuff like Frostborn Naga too much, because there's so much just fringe stuff. Anything you go into Kara really, if it has an open Gambit all the time. Okay, another Dancing Blades. That's completely fine. That's definitely annoying. Really annoying. Okay, so we can put him to 13 this turn. We just the Mercantor. Because we want to still clear, I think. I guess we can ignore Blood Tier potentially. But then it's easy to kill off our egg. Well, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. I think we just clear. Maybe this is a bit too low impact. It's probably a bit greedy. Yeah. So we will just clear with Mercantor. Everything's out of range of the Dancing Blades for another turn. So that's definitely an indication we can go for board for just a little bit longer. Because you kind of just want to switch gears right at the end. I think this is probably good. And you still have to be careful against Kara. Like, if they get 2 Bloodborne spells off on Tigers, then, you know, that's 10 damage right there, if they have 2 of them. He's low on cards, so we're actually, if you don't count the dancing, like, if you don't count the board, we're equal. We've got a bit more tempo on him. We have Egg Morph and stuff, so we're in a decent position. And our Bloodborne spell is still really good. So we actually have 8 damage from hand. So just to hit with these 2, it's not impossible. Well, and we'll have our Bloodborne spell next turn. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we'll kill him this turn, most likely, but Ash Mess. Oh, we actually do have lethal, yeah. Like, this deck has so much burst, like, if you just have a couple cards in hand, like, these 2, I mean, these 2 are the cards that deal more damage than their mana cost. Okay, we don't have it. Man, it's always that sneaky blood tier at the end. Okay. That is really annoying. There's always one blood tier that screws me over right at the end. Now we can't get closer to him. So we're what, 1 damage off? 8, 9, 12. Yeah, 1 damage off. Alright, I guess we go for it. There's blood tears and Mechantals was good there as well. Like, I guess we just have to go for it. He's only got 1 card in hand. We're gonna take a good amount of damage here, 7. Maybe we just play both of these. We can just hope. I think we just hope to draw into 1 damage. It's too risky to play it like this. It's just way too risky. This way we're still decently healthy. We have a ton of draws to just deal 1 damage because we have 8 damage in hand. Like, I'm kind of assuming I'm not going to have a minion stick around. He didn't have that blood here. It's like, that's how a lot of Kara games go when you lose. I feel like it's just going well, and then the last card they play is a blood tier, and it kind of just makes everything so awkward. Maybe that's just my experiences, I don't know. I think it's pretty... Well, if he blocks me off with something with more than 4 attack, then actually he's fine, because then I can't punch through. But with the blood tier in hand, it's hard for him, because I have blood tier and flame blood warlock to close the gap. So he really does need heal or provoke here, with only 2 cards in hand. So, and if they're running Ash Mephite, often that means like, you know, maybe a Primus Shield Master or something like that. 7. So, okay. So anything that gives us lethal. Any replacers that give us lethal. No. Right, we really need a... guess we get rid of this. So close, guys, so close. Another Mechantor would have been good. That's so good. Like, we can go ball control, I guess, but So if we hit, take one hit, ugh, it's a lot of damage. No, I think we just go for it. Is there any point playing this? Nah, because like if we draw a tiger or something, then we want this to get in range. Like any draw that would help from the 1 damage. This body is never getting a hit off, so we want it to be able to close the gap. Yeah, so really unfortunate. Like when there's that long cards, you kind of just have to go for it a bit. We still have a few outs. We actually have, well, if he's not able to play a minion on our face, that's too threatening. We might be able to buy a turn. We're only at 3 health though. I mean, even if we get Earth Sphere, we can clean up the board pretty hard. We definitely had a lot of outs to win this game. So like we're not even far behind on board. This is actually very close. Spelljammer. Why you gotta draw all your healing mystics, man? Okay, there's no lethal draws with this. So I guess we just do this. I mean, there's a Spelljammer. Like maybe we can draw into a 2-card combo. There's a lot of damage in the deck. Ugh, it's like the worst time. Adamant Claws is pretty useless when we're at 3 HP and the general's on the other side of the field. We don't run Silhouette Tracer or anything. But I mean, we're still fighting. Like, the fact that we're close after we had to play really hard to our outs. Half Sister. Don't have another one. You only have one other card in hand. Surely not. Okay. Hopefully he just didn't think this through. And he's put it near his face. Okay. I mean, Spelljammer into Tiger Half Sister with 2 cards left in hand is pretty brutal. Yeah, so it wasn't like the most successful live ever. I'll give it that. But I think the games are pretty good. I think I played, decently. Possibly a few decisions I could have made different. I'm not sure how much could have swayed the games, but I think we did see the strength of the deck, and you can't be too results oriented with this kind of thing. You can look at how well was the deck performing. Did I misplay? That's a big part of it sometimes, and did your opponent sometimes get a bit lucky, and sometimes they played it out. But I don't regret going in on that Kara game. I don't think we had a hand to continuously keep valuing him. So we did it. He found his outs, and that was it. And we kind of saw that he wasn't saving them up, so he wasn't in a worse off position than he was, because he was saving these things, because they all came out with their original stats in Kara. So that's something to consider. Anyway, guys, I've rambled on a little bit. You saw me lose a few games. You saw me win one. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time, guys.